Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mode. The international break is finally over and the football will be back. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, this has been absolutely terrible, terrible international break. Yesterday we saw a fight, but it is what it is. England with atrocious football under Southgate. Savva will tell you all about it, of course. And Spurs are investigated. The Premier League, someone put a comment yesterday that the Premier League are showing clubs first what they can do. So when they punish City or Chelsea, nobody will say a thing. But anyway, welcome everybody to Footy Judge Mo. We've got a brilliant show for you today. We're going to preview the Premier League. We'll talk about Man City, Liverpool. We'll talk about Spurs, Arsenal. They have Gabriel Jesus back. Does that mean they're going to go back to their fluid football, sensational football? I'm going to be joined here by Kunle, but first I'm here with the great Savva from Football Heritage TV. Is here with me. Welcome, Savva. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate you. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
There you go, unmuted. Yeah, listen, thanks for having me. Thank the football gods that international football is coming to a close. Three international windows in the space of 3 months. It's just too much. It's so boring. It's so boring.
It's very boring, to be honest with you. Like, I can't wait for the Premier League to start, and it's going to start with a bang. But first, let's start with that Spurs news that came yesterday. Suddenly, someone is digging a grave and picking something from 2008 that is already done. It deteriorated. It's a different era. It's 15 years ago. Why do you think the Premier League is doing that now? What makes this news 15 years later?
Oh, mate, I don't know. I mean, it apparently, look, I'm not an expert on all of this. I don't know. But apparently, this is something that was looked at in 2008. And that they said there was nothing wrong with it. And now somebody's looking at it again. I don't know. Look, it was Harry Redknapp. So, it's just what Harry does, all his wheeler dealing. It just seems a bit strange timing. You know, you've got the whole Everton thing going on, Man City thing going on, Chelsea thing going on. Then all of a sudden something appears from 2008. And I guess the question you need to ask yourself, Mo, is how far back are we going with this? How far back are they going to go to bring things up to target teams? Like, do we go back to 1990? Do we go back to 1980? Like, where are we? Where does this end? How does it end?
Yeah, I don't know where it ends, because the problem is, for people that don't know, the statute of limitation in the criminal cases in the UK doesn't exist. That means you can try someone for something that happened 50 years ago or 100 years ago. In UEFA, there is a limit. And I don't know. But listen, someone put a comment yesterday. Man City fans will say I have an agenda, and Chelsea fans. But seriously, that comment kind of made sense in my head. Someone put a comment. I can't remember who, but it was very smart. They said that they are doing all of this now to Everton, to Spurs. So when the Man City or Chelsea fines or point deduction happen, the Premier League says, well, it's not only you. We have been doing it for other clubs. It's pretty smart. And it makes sense because, as you said, there is no reason for them to dig this now.
Yeah, it's safety in numbers, isn't it? It's safety in numbers. Like I said the other day, if they're going to charge Man City, and obviously we don't know what's going to come of all of that, but if they're going to charge Man City, it's almost like saying, oh, well, hang on, look, we got Everton, we got Chelsea, we got Spurs on this misdemeanor from 2008.
So we're not targeting you, huh? We're not
targeting you, but you have been naughty, and here's your fine, or here's your points. Like all of these things, I think they start massive, Mo. You think any football story, it starts huge. It's a great big problem. And then they always die down. Like it will die down. Look at Man City's charges, for example, died down from the point of view of anyone talking about it until Everton got punished. And then the story was no longer Everton. The story was, hang on, what about them? So I wouldn't be surprised in the next 2-3 months if we start seeing a few more of these stories from other clubs coming out about dodgy signings, FFP, It's just what they do. So yeah,
It's a very, very strange thing. Very, very strange thing. And I want to go to the football now. So forget these charges. Let's talk about. And I actually think the news is here because there is no club football. Now let's talk about the club football. And I want to start with Spurs.
Yeah.
On the pitch now. You have been the voice of reason, saying, calm down. Nobody says we are winning anything. Wait, enjoy the process. But what about now? Because I was with Pitchy yesterday and I asked him, what if you drop down the table in the next 3-4? Because he looked at me and said, I'm looking at the table in the next 6 games, we might be looking at 4 losses or something. And you're going to drop down the table. How would you feel after the start of the season and everything?
Look, to me, it's not a big deal because I never expected title challenges. So as I said before, I feel that was very much people getting a bit carried away. Look, at the beginning of the season, Mo, I said to you, I said, whatever channel I've been on, for me, I think this year, Postecoglou's got a free hit. Nothing was expected of him, right? He's picked up a squad that is in a complete mess. We've just lost Harry Kane, who is, the club's all-time record goal scorer. He's picked up a squad that don't play any type of football. It was just literally sit back and defend. So for me, this year was always going to be about how do we get through this year, implementing a process, implementing a strategy. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. There will be some big score lines along the way. There will be for winning and losing. And let's get to next year with everybody in the club having had a year of playing this new style, understanding what Postecoglou wants. So for me, I think it's natural. I said at the beginning of the season, I think Spurs, depending on what they do in the next window, could be anywhere between 4th and 8th, right? Right now, the way I see it, we've given ourselves a good start. We've given ourselves a bit of a buffer that we can lose a few games without it being a disaster. But like what Perchy would have said to you yesterday, obviously he's a partner on my channel, so I know what he thinks. It's about stopping that rot at the moment. You've had Chelsea, now Wolves, you've got Villa and City next. What you don't want to do is get to the point where it's 5 or 6 in a row, because then I think you watch a lot of those fans that were getting a bit too carried away will flip to the other side and be like, oh my God, this manager's rubbish. For me, I think it needs a lot of time. It needs a lot of love. And I think he's got a free hit this year. As long as nothing disastrous happens, Mo. As long as we're not bottom half. Right, I think bottom half would be terrible. Right, we finished 8th last year. I think if you don't finish above that this year, then there's no progress. Now, progress for me can be baby steps. It doesn't have to be, oh my God, we finished 8th, now let's win it. It can be, okay, get back into Europe. I think that's the aim. Get back into Europe, and it's a great year. If you get back into Champions League, that's a phenomenal first year for Postecoglou. But I think too many people have put too much pressure on because of the good start. And now we're starting to see what happens when we get stretched. So nothing's changed for me, Mo. Nothing has changed for me at all. I didn't expect to be winning a league title, and I still don't expect to be winning a league title.
I'm not expecting you to win the league title. I just expected, to be honest with you, and I keep saying that, I didn't see 4 absentees in 1 minute. It literally, you just blinked and you're missing all of these players at one time. You're missing Madison. You're missing, of course, you're missing the Van de Ven. You're missing Romero. You're missing Udogie for 1 game. He's going to come back. And I'm like, I didn't see this happening. I didn't see this coming. But it's now on the manager to find a way to cope without these players, without Van de Ven. And that's where you test your other players' limits. Now, you guys are saying Ben Davies isn't good enough. Eric Dyer isn't been good enough. Eric Dyer has been in the club for 10 years and he hasn't done enough. I think Eric Dyer has done something for the club. He was part of that group that went to all the Champions League final. He was part of that group that was all right in the league. Is he good to play Ange Postecoglou's football? I'm not sure. He has played 1 game or 1.5 game. But I get what you're saying, that in January, it depends a lot. It's like you and other clubs, apart from one club, which is we know who. It's Manchester City, because they're playing better than anybody else. right? Even though Man City now want a midfielder, but however, the rest of them can do the job. Now, for Spurs, for me, what you didn't do in the years where you were on the near the top is win trophies. You sat at the table of top six of the big six since Harry Redknapp and the Modric and back in the days and what's his name? I can't remember the other guy's name, the tall guy. When you reach a quarterfinal of the Champions League, in my opinion, you need to win trophies. What kind of trophies you're looking at in the next 2 or 3 years? Is it Europa League? Are you looking at cups? Are you looking at challenging for the league?
Yeah, listen, look, absolutely. And by the way, someone's just put in a cracking comment into your chat about us, about Spurs hearing this every
Tony
year.
Claude telling us to hit that. Like, guys,
That one's a brilliant one.
There's about 200 people here. Can we get at least to 100 likes? Come on, people. It's very easy for you. It's underneath your live chat. Please hit that like button. Which comment?
The one right beneath that.
Yeah.
And I think this is, look, I completely agree with this person. The problem is because we've been so badly run, it's always going to be next window, because what we've done is getting managers. They've had a year and a half, then they've gone. So in that time, you've brought in players for that manager, then they go, then the next manager comes in and those players aren't quite right. So you need to get some more players in. And then you end up being left with a squad of kind of half and half. You know, we're seeing it now. Half the people that can play the way that Postecoglou wants, the other half that simply can't. I agree. It's because of comments like this, which is bang on, by the way, this person. This is why I don't ever get carried away. Because for me, Spurs have started behind the scenes to put the right building blocks in place. But that's got to be consistent. That can't be 1 year. Now, to move it to your point, Mo, about winning trophies. Yeah, look, this is going to be, so what, 2024, if we don't win the FA Cup in 2024, if we don't win this season's FA Cup, it will be 16 seasons without a trophy, which simply isn't good enough. But I'm not putting that pressure on Postecoglou this year that, oh my God, he has to win the FA Cup or else. But next year, you've got to start looking. Can we win a League Cup? Can we win an FA Cup? If we're in the Conference League or the Europa League next year, can we go on and win it? Not what we've done before, where we go half-hearted with it and
final, semi-final, and then we're putting a charge here. Like, no.
So look, I'll be honest. I was disappointed. I know as a Spurs fan, we're not allowed to say anything critical about Postecoglou for some reason. But I was really disappointed in the League Cup earlier this year, Mo, when he did put out a second string team against Fulham. I was really disappointed. And listen, I'd love it if we could go on and win the FA Cup this year. But you know what? It's not as simple as saying that, because just saying you want to go for an FA Cup and win it, it doesn't suddenly mean that Liverpool don't want to win it, or City don't want to win it, or Arsenal, or Chelsea, or Man United, Newcastle. So listen, if he could win the FA Cup this year, he'll be a legend. He'll be an absolute legend. But does he go all out for it? I don't know.
I don't know. I want to ask you something about actually Spurs with the future. Listen, I grew up watching the Premier League, and Spurs weren't one of the bigger clubs, to be honest. You know what I'm talking about. 2002, 2003.
Yep.
And then Spurs came to the picture, and you started sitting at the table. I said you didn't win a trophy. And I believe you haven't won the league in about like 50 years, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. You haven't won.
So we haven't won a league?
The league.
Oh, the last time we won the league was 1961.
So about like 50 or 70 years. My point is, Spurs, I went to the stadium, absolutely phenomenal, right?
Yep.
Okay. The club has money. You are generating. One of the reasons you are sitting at the table is the amount of money you generate and the consistency you make in Champions League. When do you think Spurs fans should look at winning the league? Like Arsenal fans now, some of them, they say, we have to win the league this year, next year. There is no other way. Liverpool fans are saying, we have to win the league. When do you think Spurs fans should sit and say, we've had enough? We have money now. We're a big club sitting at the table. We have a good manager now. We have a rich owner now. Why we are not winning the league?
Oh, Mo. How long we got? Look, Okay, so this is why there's always that divide within the Spurs fan base, because you've got people that love the owners and say, hey, they took us from where we were in terms of a small club in some eyes, not in my eyes. I mean, we were always a big enough club, but not the biggest. They took us from a club that always finished sort of mid-table-ish to a team that regularly compete for the Champions League places.
Yes.
That has now got the best stadium in world football. We've got the best training ground in world football, blah, 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 blah. And that's all great. That's brilliant, right? All of those things are superficial, Mo, right? Because let's be honest, as a football fan, I don't live at a stadium, right? I don't ever go to the training ground. You know, these things aren't really for fans. Let's be brutally honest. So you've got the fans that say, okay, that's all well and good, but when are you going to take us? Like, we've got first class. Everything about the stadium is first class. Everything about the training ground is first class. Everything about the way we run our business is first class. Everything about we've got golf courses, cinemas, hotel, first class. What people are now saying, what I've been saying for years is, I want to see first class on the pitch. That he's got to translate that from the business side to the pitch. Now, other people will say, well, hang on, we've bought a manager. That's not what he does. He wants young, hungry players, unknown players from all around. That's great. But I don't know whether or not that ever truly competes with the elite, like Liverpool, like Man City, like Chelsea. I don't know if that is how you can ever compete. So it's all down to the owners. It's all down to their business model. They don't want to spunk money. They don't want to just chuck in money for fun. They want to live by their means. And unless they leave, I don't see a lot changing.
But they have been getting you the right players. So it's not only about the money, though. Look at the recruitment that happened over the past, I'm going to call it a year. From number one, from Kulusevski, Bentancur. What I said they were rejects at Juventus. They weren't rejects. Juventus will take them. Udogie as well from Udinese. What a brilliant signing. Van der Ven is a good pickup. A lot of Spurs fans say Romero is a great pickup. Vicario. So your owners now, and this is what I don't understand. Your owners are doing the right thing. Are they backing the manager? They didn't do the right thing with Pochettino when he went to the Champions League final. But at the moment, I'm looking at Spurs recruitment, the likes of Madison. Bissouma was a good pickup. So they are putting the right. It's working, right?
It's getting.
So why
better.
People are complaining? Yes,
right. So Mo, it's getting better. I think the level that's always thrown at the owners is that we always do just enough. But never, so we'll get to there, but we never go, right, okay, now we need to go to there. We never do it. You'll see. Have a look at this January window. Let's see what Spurs do in this January window. Let's see. Like, even then, a lot of the players we get, they're young, they're hungry, they're good. That's fine. I've got nothing against that. I think that's great. But you look at the teams that win, Mo, more often than not, they're sprinkled with top-class players. Like, you look, Liverpool built a good team, then sprinkled in Van Dijk, Alisson. Do you know what I mean? Right? Fabinho, like top class players.
Top notch, a game changer, basically.
Right. Spurs haven't really done that. We haven't really done that. Even then, like Van der Ven's a great signing, but again, young player you could pick up cheap. If Van der Ven was 80 million, would Spurs have gone and made that signing?
No.
If he was 25, 26 in his peak, and that is where I need to see. I've said this for 16, 17 years. I've not wanted these owners in. That is the moment. It's these moments when we were second or third going into January under Harry Redknapp. We were in a title race under Pochettino. We were top in December under Jose. And it's at moments like that that you say, right, what's the quality we're going to go and buy in the next few windows? And we gave Jose, last thing I'll say on this, we bought in Jose Mourinho. Love him, hate him, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's a serial winner, right? He's a serial winning manager. And we gave him Joe Hart, Matt Doherty, Joe Rodon, an injured Gareth Bale on loan, right? Pierre Højbjerg, Vinicius on loan, and Gedson Fernandez, who was 18 at the time, on loan.
Oh my God.
So when you get a winning manager and then you give them those group of players, and people will say, oh, the manager's been backed. Have they? Have they? If you're going to bring in those type of players, you don't bring in a Jose Mourinho, do you? You know what I mean? So, look, it's going in the right direction-ish, but I don't trust the board. And for me, it's going to have to be a number of years of doing the right thing before I think that they've got the club's best interests at heart from a winning perspective and not a revenue perspective.
Yeah. I wanted to move on from, guys, 250 of you here, hit that like button, get us to 150 likes so we can get more people watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I want to pick your brain on something that me and you haven't talked about. This Varane situation, the Ten Hag situation. Before I'm waiting, Kunle is going to be here, people. We're going to talk Arsenal, of course. We're going to talk Liverpool and Man City. But before Kunle gets here, have we talked about the Varane situation, about the Man United situation? This guy's throwing a tantrum. This guy, now the news is saying that they're not going to sell him. Why is this guy throwing a tantrum? And I'm having other people, LB, for example, he's saying, but this is Rafa Varane. He's a World Cup winner. And I'm like, but it's not about the name, though. If the coach, has not been doing a good job. But if the coach is preferring other people on you, you got to look at yourself and say, well, Eric Dyer could have said the same. I'm an England international. I played World Cup. I played this and that. But why is he throwing a tantrum? And is that just to disrespect the manager? Is that Ten Hag's fault? Should we look at the professionalism of Varane? How should we look at this situation? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, I think, look, it all goes down to recruitment, doesn't it? Look, when you are bringing in, it's very, like you said, it's very simple to say, oh, this is Rafa Varane, and he's a World Cup winner, and he's a champion, 5 Champions Leagues from Real Madrid, multiple La Liga titles. The problem is, if you're bringing in a player of that caliber and a player of that ego, let's be honest, there's going to be an ego there. You've won everything in world football, right? He's won the World Cup with France. So this is a guy that is used to winning year after year after year, international and club football. The problem is for me, and this is only my take on it, I don't know if I'm right. If you've got a player like that, I'll chuck Casemiro into that bucket as well. If you've got these experienced pros that have played at the biggest clubs in the world, that are used to winning the biggest competitions, I'm not talking about League Cups. They're used to winning the Champions Leagues, the World Cups, the La Ligas. Now, all of a sudden, they're in this situation at Man United where they're not challenging, right? They're not in a settled team. The team looks poor. There is no football really going on. There's no respect seemingly from a lot of the players to the manager. That, for me, is where when you've got those types of players, you've got 2 personality traits for me. You've got the people that dig in and go, oi, we've been to the top. Follow us. Follow our lead. We're going to lead you there. We're going to show you. Or you get the people that go, hang on, and I don't know he's like this, by the way, but, I'm Rafa Varane. I don't need this. I'm not used to this. This is rubbish. I'm used to.
But he only complained, Savva, when he didn't play. He didn't complain before. He didn't complain when they were not playing well. That's what I don't understand. Why are you complaining today? Because it's Jones and Maguire ahead of you? Are you weak mentally?
Would you though? If Jones, not Evans.
No, Jones and Evans, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, if Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, right, was starting and you're Rafa Varane, be honest, Mo, I'm knocking on the manager's door and going, what's going on here? Why are those 2 clowns playing in front of me? I'll be honest. That's just me.
All the manager has said is tactical or whatever, but the problem with me is that you have the majority of Man United fans. This is what I don't understand. You have the majority of Man United fans when he came against Copenhagen in 15 minutes after Johnny Evans got injured. All of them complained about his performances. You know that. Like everybody said, oh, Rafa Varane forgot how to play football. And now when he's throwing a tantrum, some of Man United fans saying, sack the manager.
Yeah.
Which one is it? Which one is it? Can you make up your mind so we know?
I think the problem that we've got here is it's not a happy ship anyway, is it? Yeah. And what you're starting to see, there's the situation that happened with Jadon Sancho. You had, look, we can take it further back than that. You've got Ronaldo with all the stuff that happened with Ronaldo and him kicking off and blah, blah, blah. You've got all the stuff with Harry Maguire and they tried to get him out the door and then he ended up staying. You've got the Sancho situation. You've now got the Varane situation. You've got a manager that, from what I've seen lately, has almost stopped playing all the players he's bought, right? And has gone back to the players that were there when he first arrived. That's a worrying sign. So for me, I think it's bigger than Varane. I mean, Man U, what they're doing, Mo, for me, they're winning all these games 1-0, right? They're winning these games against the likes of Luton, right? Against Fulham, that they should be winning. And those wins are keeping them there or thereabouts in terms of Europe. They're keeping them there or thereabouts. Then they go and play somebody decent and they lose. And everyone talks about him being sacked. Then they go and beat someone like Luton and it's like, oh, well, actually, things aren't actually that bad. and I just think the whole club is an absolute mess. Forget that they're sixth. I think the club is a mess from top to bottom. The manager looks like he's lost it. The manager looks like he's lost his players. And I think they've got big problems to come.
Here's a question for you that is related to Spurs, because I actually asked other people this and I was waiting for the chance to ask you this question. A lot of Spurs fans before the season, before Ange Postecoglou, were saying our club is shambles. We finished 8th. We were absolutely atrocious. Our owners are terrible, which are warranted because the amount of like rumors around the club when like Kane wants to leave, you can't get a goalkeeper, Lloris situation. You remember all of this problems that were at the club, right?
Yeah.
And now Ange Postecoglou comes in, and now it's looking like a steady ship where everybody's jumping on board again and saying, we're going to wait. It looks like it's going. We're going to wait and see what happens. But it looks like we're going, as you said, baby steps into the right direction. So Man United owners are shambolic. We know that, like the stadium and all the training ground, all the stuff that people talk about. Do you think a manager can have the same impact at Manchester United like Ange Postecoglou did at Spurs?
Look, I mean, it's really, really difficult because I think that Spurs didn't just change their manager this summer, by the way. Spurs didn't just change their manager.
Enlighten me, please.
So, right. So, first of all, I want to say that Ange has only been there 12 games. So when we're saying how he's transformed the club, as I've said before, let's wait and see. Because if Spurs lose their next 3 or 4 games, everyone's going to be laughing at us, right? If we lose 5 games in a row, Mo, everyone's going to be jumping on the Spurs are Spursy and blah, blah, blah. Right. But this summer, Spurs got in a new technical director of football, new chief scouts. We've got new academy directors in place as well, a new chief football officer. So like somebody to be like Daniel Levy's number 2. So it's not just that Conte went and Postecoglou came in. It's Postecoglou, the director of football, chief scouts, head of academy, chief football officer. So all of these different, this whole new structure was implemented over the summer. Man United, for me, need to do exactly the same. Man United, for me, look like a football club that, whilst I think that Ten Hag should be sacked, I don't think that alone changes the football club. They need brand new directors of football, brand new scouts. They all need to get onto the same page as a manager and say, right, let's start again. At the moment, we've got no direction. What formation we want to play, what style of football we want to play, what are the types of footballers do our scouts need to be going and scouting, right? And we need to stick to that process. And the thing is, this is what the biggest clubs do. This is what, for years, Barcelona, you knew what players they were signing. You knew what was coming through the academy. City now, you know what type of players Man City are buying, right? You know that the director of football's been in place there for as long as Pep has. They know each other inside out. I just don't think that Man United have got any of these different jigsaw pieces correct. I think
that's what Sergio Ratcliffe is going to try to do. I think this is what he is trying to do. Listen, people, over 330 of you here. Can we get to 150 likes? This is very good. It's a very good conversation, free-flowing conversation, to be honest. Well, we're still waiting for Kunle to arrive. He bottled it, of course. Of course, being an Arsenal fan, like the league last year. But let's switch to, actually, I just said he bottled it, and he just arrived. So let me get him on so we start talking about Liverpool. Let me just get this going, and then we'll see how it is. Here we go, and here we go. And
did you say I bottled it, bro? I never bottled it. How dare you?
It's 7-4. It's 140, and people in the chat are saying you bottled it.
It's 30 minutes in, bro. 30 minutes in.
All
I'm
right,
here for the
then.
second
All
half
right.
of the show. What's going on, man? Oh, yeah, now, my people, my people. It's your dark-skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, today you go understand. Big up everyone. Smash the like button. Big up Savva. Big up Mo. Let's go, man. What did I miss?
We
Oh,
finished Spurs, we
Jesus.
finished Man United. You missed a lot.
Oh, we were taking the piss out of Man United and I missed it. Oh, shit. Shit.
Oh,
Anyway,
something
but
like
I want to move on to this news. Okay, it's news. People asked me before the show, Mo, why did you put Haaland and Ederson injured with a question mark in the thing? And I'm like, I'm reading the news everywhere. Haaland got a knock, and the doctor said that we would have played him if it was a final, but we don't know. Ederson, they said the foot is swollen. And the question is for both of you, if Man City play without Ederson, without Haaland, do we think they can cope though with Liverpool? By the way, one of the things that I asked yesterday or asked Tom, I said, who's the best team in the league? Is it actually Liverpool or is it Man City? Because Liverpool, if that goal, the Luis Diaz goal, might have changed the game, they might have been unbeaten. They might have been top of the table. People say me top of the table don't lie. But has Liverpool or can Man City cope with these injuries? John Stone's injured. They have 5 injuries, if I'm not mistaken. Even if the game, okay, Daniel is telling me the game is at the Etihad. The news are not confirmed though, right? But they are injured. That's what they're saying. They're waiting for Pep Guardiola to actually give an update. So what do you guys think about that game in particular? It's one of the biggest games of the season.
Go on, Kunle. I'll let you go.
If Ederson and Haaland are out, I think City will definitely drop points. Will it be an L? I don't know, but they'll definitely drop points. I can't see them winning without both of them personally, because it's not just any team. This is their arch rival. I know people want to say there's no rivalry, but let's be honest. They were the two teams going head to head for the last few years. So I think without Haaland as your number one keeper, I think it'll be too much for them to snatch the win with all the disruption in the city of late.
Are you giving too much credit to Liverpool? Are you giving too much credit for Liverpool, or are you just underestimating Spurs? Sorry,
Spurs.
Liverpool. Sorry.
Nah, like I don't think I'm. Do you say am I underestimating Liverpool? Or
are you underestimating Man City, or you're?
I think Man City without Haaland and Ederson, I think it's too much, man. It's too much. Personally,
you really think so?
Yeah. For them to get a W anyway, I don't think they can get the win without them. I think they can avoid defeat, but if those two players are really missing, boy, I'll be supporting Liverpool on the weekend, mate. Big up.
So you'll be supporting Liverpool no matter what, or no?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Yeah. Sureda, thank you so much for the super chat. Super chat for the live. Hi everyone. Come on, you Gunner. Just when Kunle arrived, of course, the Arsenal fans arrived with him, of course. Listen, for me, if Haaland play and Ederson play, I would, of course, because it's home, I would give Man City the biggest chance of winning the game, probably like 80%. However, can we, in what world, like, how can we imagine Liverpool playing on the counter attack, on the transition football, when Man City press high? Because Liverpool thrive on the transition, thrive on the counter attacks, and Man City will press them high. Yes, it's at home and everything, but Van Dijk is coming into form. We know Alisson. How are we seeing the game from a tactical point of view?
Can I just say as well? I completely disagree with Kunle. I think even if they've got no Ederson or Haaland, I think Liverpool are a good team. I don't think they're anywhere near what they have been. I think they're building back to what they need to be. But I just think if Man City at home, Haaland or no Haaland, they've got goals, they've got firepower, they're going to dominate the football. I think I can't see City dropping points to Liverpool at the Etihad. They destroyed them there last year. I think they'll destroy them there this year as well. These are the games where City rise. They are, aren't they? Like everyone will say, "Oh, you love City." These are the games where they rise. I heard this last year when Arsenal went there. Arsenal were going to show City how to play football, and then they got bantered away.
You definitely didn't hear that from me, boy.
No, not from you, but no,
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Listen, it's like Spurs.
Consensus,
I've got Spurs fans.
yeah.
I've got Spurs fans right now saying, "Oh, we're going to the Etihad in 10 days." It's all right. We always win there. I'm like, I want to keep it to 4. Like, I want to keep it to continuing 4. I think that I think that Man City will win that game. I reckon Haaland will play. I reckon Haaland.
Yeah,
will
if
play
Haaland plays, different game, Savva. I'm like, it's a different game. But if he doesn't,
they can win without him. Didn't they beat them last year without him?
Liverpool were shambles. Liverpool were terrible last year.
Yeah, this is rejuvenated Jurgen Klopp. I think they've only lost one game against you lot in how many games? And that game they maybe wouldn't have lost without the VAR situation. I think we're underestimating Liverpool.
No. So let me ask Savva a question here. Are you saying that because it's home? If this game was at Anfield, would you have had the same thought?
Completely different. Completely.
Oh,
of course.
So
this
100%.
This is it. Anfield. Anfield's a fortress, right? But then again, so is Man City. Like, have you noticed when Man City
has been a fortress? Yes.
Yeah.
When they lose at home, it's always to like the odd, like Brentford or a Palace. It's never Arsenal. It's never Chelsea. It's never Liverpool. It's never. Do you know what I mean?
I hear what you mean. Still.
Yeah, they rise in the big games.
They rise for the big occasions at the Etihad.
Big game last year. They're coming from.
To be honest, I'd like to find out when the last big game they didn't turn up at the Etihad. To be fair,
I have no idea, to be honest,
because I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Kunle, I think if they get a draw, if Liverpool could go to their Etihad and get a draw, I think that's an amazing result. I truly believe, not just for them, for the rest of the league as well. I think it's an amazing result because City have got back-to-back home games now against Liverpool and Spurs. And
Savva, I don't think you've taken in consideration. It is a 12:30 kickoff as well, straight after international break. We don't know. That's why I think Liverpool have got a good chance of maybe even nicking the 3 points in this game if Haaland and Ederson don't play. But it's a mad one. It's a mad one.
I think it's the other way around because I think the league, somehow the people in the league have not heard of something called jet lag. They have never traveled internationally. I'm being serious. The South American players that are coming back, they need time to adjust. And when you put them in a game,
that's true.
When you put them in a game at 12:30, that means for them, their body still understands it's 5:30 in the morning in South America and 4:30. This is
how many South Americans are playing? How many in both teams?
Nunes, Luis Diaz for Alisson for Liverpool, and these are all like crucial ones for them.
Alvarez.
Julian
McAllister. Oh no, he's McAllister's suspended, right?
Argentina. McAllister.
Isn't he suspended anyway? McAllister
suspended for the record. But what I mean is that I don't know. But what I mean is the people that make the league that put these games, I have no idea what they're doing. They're making decisions out of their ass, in my opinion. Because how do you have a South American player coming back from international travel from South America, where there is a 7 to 8 hour difference between the UK and some of the countries, and you're making them play at 12:30? Their body medically understands it is 4:30 in the morning. It's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And Liverpool have all the right to complain. All the right to complain.
Yeah. Look, listen. I think it should be a great game. Let's be honest. Look, I'm a Spurs fan. I don't care who wins that game, right? I genuinely don't care. I just think that more in hope than expectation, we always try and find a reason why the big teams are going to lose at home, and they they very rarely do. It's like when you go to Anfield. I've had it for years. I think Liverpool can be got at this year at Anfield, and even when they're playing badly, they seem to grind it out at Anfield. And City have kind of done the same with the Etihad. No DM for Liverpool. I think that's going to make it. I think that's going to mean that City are probably going to have. Do we agree? I think the City are probably going to have all the midfield because Liverpool don't have a DM. And even without Erling Haaland, they were winning titles. So I feel like we always talk now without Haaland.
Yeah, but the league's progressed a lot since they won the title without Haaland, though, bro. I reckon.
Has it? I don't think Liverpool.
I think overall, look at the quality of the teams now, man. But we are talking about Liverpool, to be fair. But I just think without. So what does the team look like then without Haaland and Ederson? What's the front three is going to be? What Alvarez?
Alvarez, Doku, or Jack
Yeah,
Grealish, or Foden, and Bernardo,
I don't know,
Rodri,
man.
and Rico Lewis in the. I actually think that the midfield without Stones, without Kevin De Bruyne, and Mateo Kovacic, by the way, is injured. Nunez is coming back. I'm not sure who's gonna play, to be honest with you, in the midfield. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the lineup.
Rodri, probably Rodri, Nunez, and Bernardo Silva.
Normally he would play Alvarez. He would play Alvarez, Bernardo, and Rodri, and Haaland up top. He plays Alvarez behind the forward. But remember, that midfield was destroyed against Chelsea. Was bypassed many times.
It was destroyed. It wasn't destroyed. I think that's a
Bro. Yeah, destroyed's a bit wild, but yeah, they got handled by Chelsea.
Hold on here. When
they didn't get destroyed, but they got ran by Chelsea, though. Let's be honest.
When you concede 4 goals, that means your midfield and your defense defensively didn't do their job. It's a simple for both. I'm going both teams.
Yeah, agreed. Completely agree.
That's why when he played Bernardo, Alvarez, and Rodri was isolated. Imagine if he does that against the Liverpool midfield with McAllister.
But it's at home. But it's at home.
I see what you're saying.
This is for me. I look.
Mindset.
You see with Man City. I say it's not. This isn't Man City. This is most football clubs, right? Most of the top football clubs at home. There's this air about them where they set off to dominate. You watch the first couple of minutes, will probably be bouncing the ball end to end. Then all of a sudden, Rodri puts his foot on the ball and Man City will start to dominate the football. I don't think Liverpool's midfield is anywhere near as good as it used to be able to contain that. That's just me. That's just my opinion. I think Rodri will be the difference. They do score goals without Haaland. Right? They really, really do score goals without Haaland.
They do.
And I don't think that, like when Kunle's saying that look at the quality of the teams now, I don't think this league's anywhere near as strong as it was a few years back. I don't think Liverpool are half the team what they were. At the moment, they're building, right? They're building, they're growing, but I don't think they're half the team they were when they had everyone. Was it Fabinho, Henderson, and
are City that team though, Savva? They're not. If you look at their performances, they're not that team. I know what you're going to say. They won a treble, yes, definitely. But this season, they've not looked like that team. They've not looked at them yet. So I think this is the ideal moment. It's for Liverpool to take something from the game. Like normally, this is a City game, no doubt, at the Etihad. But I think the circumstances are a little bit different for this one, especially with the players that they could be missing. I think you're underestimating with the Liverpool. Watch out. I know Mo hates this guy, but watch out for Darwin Núñez tomorrow, man. Watch out
on the counters. That's what I've been saying.
Yeah,
on the counter attack, when Man City going all guns blazing, pressing with 7 players. Now the spaces for the likes of Salah, for Darwin Núñez in the back. Well, my question this game, and I think I get what Savva's saying, is that can actually Liverpool defense hold on this City offensive at home?
No.
I actually don't see it. That's the problem, Kunle. As good as you
City offense minus Haaland, bro. It's different, bro. It's different.
But
I know Alvarez is good. I know Alvarez is
why does everyone
good,
suddenly think they can't score goals without Erling Haaland?
But it's not about scoring goals. Even the Haaland thing is, even when they're not playing well, he can just pop up with a couple of goals and win them the game. But they're not going to have that option this
But
weekend.
can I just want to go back. So something you just said, where you said, Man City at the moment, they're not that team, blah, blah, blah. Right? This is the thing. I think people think too emotionally about it without actually looking at the facts of the situation. First of all, Man City do this every season. I don't know how many years in a row we have to keep doing this. Man City never, ever, ever on fire in the first half of the season. They come into their own in the second half of the season, right? Always.
Which means they can drop points now when they're not in form, bro. That's what I'm saying.
But hang on again, but that's not true. When you're saying they're not in form, right? I'm going to ask you some questions.
No, not in form. They're not in form. They're not in form.
Okay.
Can I answer as well?
Yeah, sorry.
Hang on. Okay. So for a team that aren't in form, in their last 8 games, what have they done? For a team that aren't, bear in mind, I didn't say it. You said they're not in form, right? And you said they're not that team at the moment. In the last 8 games, what do you think their record is?
Probably 7 wins or something like that.
No, they lost to Arsenal, drew 1 game at Chelsea, and won the rest.
So in the last 8, right, they've lost 1 game, right? They've lost 1 of 8, and they've scored 24 goals. So when we're saying Man City aren't on form, this has got to the point where what are people expecting from City for us to be able to sit there and go, they're on form? 1 defeat in 8 and averaging 3 goals a game. What does form look like?
Okay, but Savva, okay, let me flip it. Okay, if I ask you the same stats when it comes to Arsenal, it's probably very similar than that. But you're not saying that they're going to push City all the way this season. So what are we doing? No, because because you're your argument. I'm saying this City are not at the stage where they're in flow, they're in motion yet. So if there's a time
they're only scoring.
But we're not in flow and we're second in the league, so it's the same thing. We're not playing well and we're second in the league, bro. Okay. If you want to take a different eye to look at City, then you look at Arsenal, then you can do that. But I'm just talking about teams in general. They're not in flow for a City team because you said they turn it on second half of the season. This is the first half of the season. They haven't turned it on yet. And yes, they're getting results. Okay, but I think this is the best time to get at them.
Sure. But you said that only one person in the last 8 has beaten them, right? And in that very same time, you've lost more games than them. You've scored only 15 goals in your last 8 games, so nowhere near Man City's level. I think most Arsenal fans have acknowledged you're not playing that great football. You're not losing. No one's saying you're not a good team, but you're not
picking up points, bro.
But that wasn't. But Kunle didn't think it. That wasn't the debate. No one said Arsenal aren't picking up points. You are picking up points without playing well. It's a great trait. But the whole point is when people say Man City aren't playing well or they're averaging.
But they're picking up. They can pick up points and not play well, though, Savva. You agree with that?
I'll tell you the difference.
Sure, but hang on. Yes, I'm not saying they play well in every game, Kunle. But when you're saying they're scoring goals for fun, like Man City are scoring goals for fun, and people like you are coming on and going, they're not playing well.
They conceded 4 against Chelsea, bro. That's not impressive, bro.
Right. So for one game they concede 4, and that means that now they're
not just that. Goals. Also, you saying that they don't click until the second half of the season. I'm taking that into consideration too. They're not playing well. But Savva, on this stream, you said they're not playing well because City, they do is they start slowly and get into form second half of the season. You said that on this stream.
I didn't say they're not playing well. I never said that. I think City are playing well, but they go into another drive after January. The thing is, you can't argue with the
saying this. Okay, go on.
You can't argue with the facts that are there. So if we're just going to turn around and go, oh, City aren't in form. Well, they've scored 24 goals in 8 games. If that's not form, I don't know what is.
Okay, so what do you mean by they kick into gear second half of the season?
Quite simply, they take it to another level because when they get to the other side of the year, they are capable of going on 20, 25, 30 game runs where they don't lose games and they go and win everything. That's fact. That's what
they're not in that mode right now, right? Is that you acknowledging that, right? Are you acknowledging that?
Hang on. If we're going to say we're not in that mode right now, Man City.
You said it, bruv. You said it. You said it, not me. I'm just going from what you said. I'm listening to exactly what you're saying.
Kunle, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not listening to what I'm saying at all. City are in form now, but their form afterwards goes to a different place.
So then Super Saiyan form second half of the season.
So the question is, let me ask a question so the question simply to Savva is, you think this form of Man City, this form, without clicking to the next gear, can still win them the league comfortably?
Of course it can, because no one else is that good.
I think this is where we miss. This is a misunderstanding.
Is that good?
Fair enough, then. If that's what, fair enough.
I think that's a misunderstanding. Like, I get you, what is happening here now.
I had these conversations all last year, though, right?
No, I hear what you're saying. If that's the stance,
and I was told I was wrong.
Yes, okay.
It's going to happen again this year.
No, I hear that. If that's your stance, I understand what follows that. I understand, but I just don't believe that.
We were confused about that.
What don't you believe?
I don't believe this version of City wins the league.
But this version of City, without even getting out of first gear, are still top. Like.
Yes, but the point is,
the point is other teams have not clicked yet. If we click and City stay at this same level, they can't win the league.
Do they? They never do.
No, but that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant if you think they can win the league at this level. That's irrelevant.
I still do, because you will drop points, Liverpool will drop points, and no one else can win it. For me, that's the only 3.
Okay,
That's
let
the only
me
three.
do the hypothetical easy.
I'm gonna message you back, Scream Mode. There's one person I need you to get rid of. There's got to be. This guy
What's his
follows me
name?
around every stream. Get rid of George Carderas. It is every single stream I'm in, and he makes it so unenjoyable for me as a panelist.
I'm trying to find
Every single stream, George is like, don't give in to him. Oh, Savva this, Savva bumlicks Man City. Savva's a killjoy. Listen,
done.
I went on
Done.
Football Terrace with me and about 7 Arsenal fans, right, last year in January, when I think there was like an 8-9 point gap, whatever the gap was. And I sat there in front of them all and said, you are not going to win the league. Man City will win this league. You're a salty Spurs fan, this, that, the other. No, we watch the same thing happen every year. And every year it's like our brains completely get to the next season and forget everything that normally happens. Man City, whether we like it or not, keep winning. They keep winning titles because they've got the experience, the best players, the know-how, and the best manager. Yet every year we want to try and find reasons why they're not very good.
Actually, I think you have to. But otherwise, we should.
Sure, but we can't just make it up.
This is the thing. This is the thing. Not yet. The thing is, smash the like buttons, everyone, for Mo about to talk, man. Go on, Mo.
No.
I'll just say it now. No, but this is what I'm saying is, like, if you're asking me, are City still going to win the league? Yeah, of course, you're going to get that from me. City are definitely winning this league, but they can't win. For me, I don't believe they can win this league without turning into gear like they normally do second half of the season. If they don't, and they probably will, but all I'm saying is if they don't, there's teams ready to pounce, isn't it? I do think they will. I disagree
with you. I don't think you're good enough to find a gear that they find. I don't think Arsenal are good enough to do that. I don't think you've got that. That's just my opinion. I don't think you've got
that. What are you basing that on?
Based on show me when you've done it.
Fair enough. Until we do it, you're not going to feel otherwise. Fair enough. If that's your angle, no problem. Until someone else beats City, you're not going to believe anyone can beat City. Fair enough.
Absolutely. Because do you know the thing is, I don't go off emotion. I go off fact. This is the thing. I get. I say I get this. We get this every year. Last year, as I said, not you. I'm not saying you, Kunle, but loads of the Arsenal fans I was speaking to. I was just trying to ration out and say, look, the difference is you can be top in January, in February. It's about what do you do with your last 10, 15 games of the season, right? Man City went and won them all, right? That's the difference. Arsenal didn't. And that's know-how. That's experience. That's the manager. That's depth. All of these different things come into play. But every year, every time Man City lose a game, everyone goes, oh my God, they're not the same. Someone in the chat just now, I read, it was quite funny actually, said, oh, but City are really bad at the back. Other than the Chelsea game, they had the best defence in the league going into that game. But yet we're making these narratives that they're really bad. They don't score goals. They're conceding loads. It's not true. It's just not true.
Savva, if we're looking at over the scale of the season, yes, the City argument wins more or less anything I'm going to say. But if we're talking about a one-off game, 12:30 this weekend against Liverpool, do I think City can drop points because of the situation they might find themselves in? I think if anyone can do it, someone who's experienced at going up against head-to-head with Pep's City is Liverpool. So if they see an opportunity to pounce, I think they're going to take it. And if no Haaland, and that's not because City are a different team to last year. Because yeah, you're right. I heard this last season. Oh yeah, City are different, and they turned into gear when a treble. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not part of that brigade that says they're worse. They've just not clicked yet. That like they hadn't clicked yet this time last season. But if there's ever a time for Liverpool to take a point, even 3 points at the Etihad, I think this scenario with the players unavailable, this is the best point, and I see something happening. If Haaland doesn't play, I see.
And it's okay for us. It's okay for us to disagree on that. I've not seen. 100%. I think Liverpool are a good team. I've got Liverpool down to finish second in the league. I think Liverpool are a good team. I just don't think when I've watched them, they've got enough to really click into gear and dominate City. That I just don't think they have. City didn't even play anywhere near their best and still scored 4 away at Chelsea. That's worrying. You could look at it two ways. Yeah, they shouldn't have conceded 4, but they weren't even playing well and got 4 goals. That's worrying. When they, I thought they were absolutely superb when they battered Man United in the Manchester derby. They then put 6 past Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? Like they're I think they're just building up for their flow. I'm worried. I'm worried for the rest of the league again. They're going to win it easily.
If they win the league easily, to be honest, let me do these couple of super chats. Ed and Kuni and Therapy saying, Pep Guardiola will change tactics and have Bernardo deeper in the game. Pep Guardiola is the master. Lately, he has been the master in changing tactics and getting everything to click together. AMT saying Liverpool will counter attack the hell out of Man City. I think that's what people are hoping for. But also, can their defense actually stop Man City from scoring? Who scored away at Chelsea 4 goals, as Savva saying? That's going to be a big question. And Surida saying City X cheat, but obviously have refs decision. I'm not sure what is that. I don't think there is any charge against them on the field. Like, I don't think so, Surida. There is nothing on the field that is they're accused of anything on the field. It's not Juventus. I like to say that all the time. German chicken wing is saying Klopp has never beaten City in the league away. Well, that's another fact for you.
Oh, for real?
That's another fact
For real?
you.
Oh, that's only in the Champions League, isn't it?
In the Champions League.
Okay.
So yeah, I think actually.
You know, if they beat them,
records are there to be broken.
I'll come back onto this. Look, we're going to be doing this next week. If they beat them, I'll come onto this show and go, I was wrong. You know what? It's not that big. This is what I don't understand about football.
Literally, everyone's scared to get it wrong.
It's not that deep. If they lose, I come on and go, I got it wrong. If they win, I come on and go, well, that's what I thought would happen. So it doesn't really, it doesn't really matter.
Nah,
but
Savva, bro. They're sensitive over here, mate.
They're
not allowed to get anything wrong.
Kunle, do you know what? That is spot on. I think when you're doing YouTube, I think like people feel like you can't get a single thing wrong. If you find me anyone that never gets anything wrong, I'm asking why they're never betting on those predictions and putting those predictions in, right? Like if you're never getting anything wrong, listen, I would love Liverpool to beat Man City. There you go. I would love Liverpool to beat Man City because I think if you can bring City back down to the pack, that's good for the whole league. Yeah. Can they? I don't know. I watched Liverpool against the last 3 or 4 games I've watched Liverpool. I've not really seen anything that makes me... I like them. I think they're a good team. But again, I think they're a team, Kunle, that are growing. They've got to get that midfield settled. It's a brand new midfield. I think he keeps tinkering about with his front three. I'm not sure he knows that. But I don't know. Does it help them? Haaland and Ederson being out? Sure. I just think they have enough. That's all.
All right. So I want to move on to the last part because we have 2-3 minutes left. Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus is back. And Kunle, does that mean you're going to have your front three back and we're going to see the sensational Arsenal, the fluid football from Arsenal? Do you believe that? Or is not happening?
But you know my stance when it comes to this football, Mo. My issues with our midfield, and it's not to do with our front line. I just believe until we figure out our midfield, we're gonna be how we've been this season. I just hope we can get to the January window as quick as possible, so we can hopefully fix that midfield situation. But it's interesting what Arteta does because let's be right, Trossard has to start this game on the weekend. He has to start, whatever that means. No, Trossard has to start, bro. Whatever that means, whether that means he plays in the 10 and because Odegaard's not available, then so be it. Whether that means he plays as the 8, so be it. He has to start this game because I don't know what the boy needs to do to get a look in. I think he has to start. If maybe we ease Jesus in second half, who knows, because he's nursing an injury. You know how he is with injuries anyway. But Trossard has to start. If that means Jesus goes on the bench, so be it. I wouldn't mind Havertz going to the bench and starting with Jorginho and Rice because you know what I feel about Havertz. But I don't know, man. I'm confident, but not overconfident about the game. I think we get the job.
The problem with Arsenal is that I keep saying that Arsenal will challenge because I keep believing, because I want to believe that you will actually go to the form of last year when Jesus is back. That's what I want to believe, right? But is it actually going to happen with this midfield? As you said, the guy keeps trying and trying and trying to find the right combination. And he isn't finding them because I think you get slower by the game. For some reason, you get slower by the game. Havertz as a striker. Now people talking about Havertz as a left back. Madness for some reason. Like the German people play him on the left.
He doesn't even know his own position, bro.
Exactly. And Arteta bought the guy, and as I said, it's a shoe that he bought that he wants the shoe to fit. So Savva, just a question about Arsenal, but let me do the super chat. Someone is correcting us, by the way. AMT here is saying July 2018, Manchester City, Liverpool.
They're not correcting us. They're correcting you lot, mate. I never said it.
Not
Yeah,
me.
no, I
They're
didn't.
correcting a super chat. They're correcting chicken wing. It's
Don't
not
involve
me.
me in that. They're correcting us. Don't involve me, Mo.
They're correcting.
I don't think anyone said Man City have never lost to Liverpool. Like, do you know what I mean?
German chicken wing here. Now he's corrected. So anyway, he's corrected. Anyway,
Oh, wow.
listen, Savva, just one question before we end this. Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus is back. We saw them for more than half the season last year. They were absolutely sensational, blown away team, playing very good football with Saka, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus with Martin Odegaard, who has been not informed this year. Do you believe that Arsenal? It's simple. Do you believe that Arsenal can go back to that form this year? What needs to happen? If you don't believe that they can go back to form, what needs to happen for them to go back to that sensational form when they had 50 points out of 19 games?
Look, I think they need to go back to that form. Like, I think they need to if they're going to sustain another title challenge. It just something looks different. I can't put my finger on it. It's not for me to put my finger on it, but something doesn't look the same. The dynamic looks different. I don't feel he's quite got the balance of the midfield three right.
That's the key. That's the key to all our issues right now.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you, bro. That's the Xhaka thing.
It doesn't look right. It's like, listen, they're still the best of, like, they're still them. As I said, them Liverpool, Man City are better than everyone else. But it just doesn't quite look right. When you watch Arsenal now, as I said before, I couldn't give them any more praise as a Spurs fan to say when I watched them last year, they scared me. When I watched them last year, it was like, I wish Spurs could play football like this. They were brilliant. They were breathtaking to watch. This year, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, they're getting results. They're not losing many games, but it just doesn't look like the same. I don't know whether it's intensity. I don't know whether it is Xhaka going that has made all that difference, but the football doesn't look the same. So can they get it back? Of course they can, but I think that's Arteta's job, right? That's why he's paid so much money to go and find out, how do we get this? And at the moment, whatever he's doing in that midfield, I don't think he's getting it right with any of his selections.
Yeah, the reality is that he's put himself in a hole with this Kai Havertz situation, and nothing. And the worst thing that could happen to him with that happening is Odegaard being off form, and ESR then getting injured, Vieira getting sent off. Like the guy, he's created a problem. Like, if he bought someone else instead of Havertz, we might be having different conversations. But I think that's the key to fixing our play, fix our midfield, which I don't think we have the resources in our squad to fix our midfield, because those other two players haven't stepped up and showed me that they can. I don't know if it's worth trying Trossard there just to get him on the pitch. I don't know if he's got the physicality to be in that position. I'm not sure. But I think we're really doing our best to stretch to January. And if we're still in the mix come January and we can get a midfield replacement, I think that is the key right now, man. Literally.
Oh, you can. By the way, no one's saying that to win a title you have to play breathtaking football. If you can do what you're doing now, continue and still be up there, then fine. But I don't look at Arsenal at the moment and think, look, you don't concede many goals, which is good. I think you've got like the second best defense or the joint best defense in the league. So from that,
championships with defense, as they say.
Sure, absolutely. So for me, I don't know. I think Arsenal will be. I think as I've said, City win it, and I think it's between Arsenal and Liverpool for second. Can you start playing the same football you played last year? That's probably more a thing for your fans. Is that a compulsory? Doesn't bother me. Like, let's be fair, as a rival fan, it doesn't bother me whether or not you play great football or not. That's not
okay. My question to you then, Savva, is: let's say we are in the mix come January. We do get that midfielder that I'm craving right now, and our midfield clearly needs. And then we start playing that type of football that you saw first half of last season. Do you think that push City all the way?
I think you push them. I don't think ultimately you are close enough to win it. If I'm honest.
No. Fair enough. But I know your stance. Until we do it, this is going to be your stance, and that's fair enough. No problem.
I think a lot of it that not just me. I think what a lot of people will need to see is see Arteta get it over the line. I think once Arteta gets it over the line, the conversation in the future seasons is, well, we know he can do it. I think what we saw last year was I think a lot of people forget that Arteta's not been in management for very long. And
Yeah,
Pep Guardiola has, Klopp has. These guys have that mentality, that know-how, that experience to get over the line. Now, I'm not expecting Arteta to have it, but until you have it, you don't have it, if that makes sense. So
fair
I
point.
think you'll be up there, second, third. I don't think you'll be a million miles away, but I don't
third
think
is
you'll
not
be
acceptable, man.
Yeah,
well.
100%.
Listen, that's for you guys to determine. Like, I'm just trying to give an honest assessment of.
Let's do this couple of super chats before we end. German Chicken Wing corrected him again, corrected the AMT and said lies, the only one in the league in 2015. And I went and I actually checked that. It's actually true. The last time Liverpool won at the Etihad was before Pep Guardiola's era. So yes, AMT is saying intentional regarding Arsenal playing star right now. I think, wow. I think Arsenal fans are doing what makes them sleep at night. You know what that is? Like, you look at the mirror and say, yeah, I think Arteta's doing that intentionally. Otherwise,
I don't believe that.
I don't believe any coach. I don't believe any coach
it,
would choose to
Nah,
play
but-
that brand of football
Nah.
intentionally. Come on.
Nah.
So sorry, man. I just wanted to address that. Big up the chat, everyone in the chat. Trevelli in the chat saying I'm mentally lazy because I'm picking on Havertz and blah blah blah. Like, whatever you want to call me, the Havertz thing is what I see. The difference between Arsenal last season and this season is Granit Xhaka. The guy brought in to replace Granit Xhaka was Kai Havertz. Since that guy has been put into our midfield hasn't clicked. If that's mentally lazy, no problem. Then you please tell me what our issue is. Please educate me, because I'm always ready to be educated. I'm not always right.
Do you know what it is, Kunle? For me, as I said, I'm somebody, I want to see. By the way, that hypey bloke is the same person. It's boring now. I want to see proof of things. So when people are saying to me, oh, but Man City can go to another gear, we can't. I'm not saying, I didn't for one say that Arsenal can't go to another gear. Is it enough to win a title? I've not seen it. I've not seen Arsenal go to that gear. For me, it's nothing to do with me being a Spurs fan, by the way. I can remove my Spurs hat when talking about Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Man United. I just think that Arsenal, for me, something needs to click in that midfield. And listen, that's what the transfer windows are for. That's what the transfer windows are for. You know, and as I said to you the other week, Kunle, I truly believe that with the 225 million you spent, I truly believe you could have been on par with Man City, but I don't think you spent it wisely. I don't. I'm not saying all of it was terrible, but I don't think a lot of it was spent wisely.
And predominantly that's because of Kai Havertz, let's be honest. If we spent 65 million elsewhere, you'd probably be saying something different right now. Let's be honest.
Anyway, people, I want to thank everybody that watched us. And also, I want to check Football Heritage TV, Tunnel TV. They are in the description, one click away. You can go give them a subscription. We still have over 340 of you here at the end of the show. So click on that link and give them a subscription. Please do. It's easy. It doesn't cost you a penny, and it helps their channel and my channel massively. Like the video before we go. Listen, people, tonight we have a panel debate. Stay on the stream. It will take you to This is Football with Hussam, who has Tom, I think now, the Liverpool together. I think they're going to say we can beat City. I'm checking them. I'm checking what they're saying. I'm keeping checks on them. But thank you, Savva from Football Heritage TV. We had a brilliant show yesterday and another one today. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you helping and appreciate you joining. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I always love being
Kunle, you bottled it for half an hour, but you came with a great entrance. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you, bro.
Big up, Mo, every time, man. Always a pleasure to be on your channel. And definitely make sure you guys are checking the reactions this weekend on Tunnel TV.
Tunnel TV, the reactions are crazy, people. Just go check them. Thank you,
and
everybody.
The Spurs girl will be back. Do not worry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People, thank you, everybody, for staying on this stream. Don't go anywhere. It will take you to Osam. And thank you, everybody that watched us. Thank you, Kunle. Thank you, Savva. And we're out of here, people. We'll see you tonight.